Hello Seekers and welcome back to my channel. I'm Alice Estrella Strange and today I'm sharing a spell walkthrough for growing a new state of mind. This spell could be used to grow anything that you want to bring into your life, and it's a really fun spell that I'm really excited to share with you. But first, if you don't know me, hi, I'm Alice. I assist people in connecting to their spirit team, natural wisdom, and mastering their magical practice through empowered witchcraft mentorship and shadow healing. I will be opening the Modern Mystic Academy in January, a transformational journey into learning witchcraft, healing, and finding connection in a private community of other Academy members. We explore a different topic every month, and the first month of January is all about crafting sacred smoke blends. And every month you get a ritual kit curated to support you along your journey. And the first month you are getting all the supplies you need to make your own smoke bundles, plus some of my personal products. If you'd like to join the waitlist now and be the first to know when the Academy launches, the link for that is below. Now, let's get into a spell for growing new things in your life. So first, what can you use this spell for? The intention is to grow something in your life. This could be growing your confidence, your peace, your drive and ambition. It can be used to grow almost anything in your life, and this spell could be used as a template for growing physical things too, like finances. As I always encourage you to do, get creative with it and grow your practice by experimenting. I'll be using the spell I did just as an example so you can get a better idea of how to use it. So for my spell, the intention was to grow my passive and receptive energy to allow things to flow to me and trust in the process. So now, let's cover the supplies you'll need for this spell. First, you'll need a jar, and really any jar will do as long as it's big enough to fit everything in. You'll also need some dirt, and I shared all about dirt in magic in a recent video, so if you'd like to learn more about dirt magic, I will link that above. But for this spell, I recommend using dirt from a garden, a farm, or potting soil. You want dirt that's really good for growing things. And if you don't have access to any of those, you could use dirt from a forest or somewhere where plants grow wild, even just along a road where a lot of weeds grow. And if you'd like more ideas for dirt that may match your specific intention, I'd recommend my recent video. I used potting soil for my jar. You can also use crystals that match your intention or small objects that represent what you're calling in. You'll also need herbs that match your intention, and I'm really big on using what you have because there are so many plants all around us that want to work with us with properties that are perfect for what we need. I wanted to focus on removing doubt and healing the underlying habit and bringing in renewal, balance, and positivity. So for my spell, I used 6 herbs. The first herb is bittersweet, or American nightshade, which is one of my closest plant allies. And the properties of this plant that I'm calling on are removing and banishing. And bittersweet has the ability to remove things very well and bring in that deep healing. And the second herb I used is lilac, which is an amazing ally for banishing and even exorcism. But as a Venus ruled plant, lilac has this way of ripping out all of this really nasty stuff with a fiercely protective edge and replacing it with playful love and joy. She also holds the energy of renewal and new beginnings, making her a really great ally for this spell. And the third herb I used in this spell is iris, which is an amazing ally in so many ways. Traditionally, iris is used for commanding authority and purification and exorcism as well, and also really positive, happy energies too. But one of the most fascinating things is irises are actually planted next to polluted water to pull the pollutants out of it, and they use those toxic chemicals to fuel their growth and thrive even more. So calling on the doctrine of signatures, I personally use them for transmuting negative things into energy that fuels positive change, essentially creating growth from your pain, which again makes it a great ally for this spell. And the fourth herb I called on is peony. And peony is great for healing and compassion and is actually named after the Greek god of healing. It's also good for prosperity and luck, and I wanted to bring in a steady flow of money while in my receptive energy. But it's also good for removing curses and negative energy. And I like to think of curses as any pattern, any negative pattern that just loops and you can't get away from. Energetically, they're the same. So when you're removing a habit, Herbs for removing curses and hexes and jinxes are really good to call on. The fifth herb I used for this spell is Black Eye Susan, and this is an ally just packed with properties perfect for this spell. Black Eye Susan is great for healing our emotions and balancing our light and dark, or our divine feminine and our divine masculine. So I'm using her for balancing my active and passive energies. And she does this through purifying negative energy and releasing it and grounding us. She holds the power of renewal with this solar energy. She's also good for integrating our healing and overcoming obstacles. And the last herb I chose for this spell is yarrow. And yarrow is another one of my closest allies and one of the most fascinating plant spirits, in my opinion. I could talk about yarrow for ages, but I chose him for this spell because he's one of the best herbs for healing ourselves with slow and gentle energy. Yarrow gives us insights into what we need to heal ourselves and allows us to protect ourselves while we heal. And I wanted to use him for this spell because there's a lot of removal and purification energy in these herbs, and removing a lot of energy at once can be really hard on our systems. So, with Yarrow's slow and careful healing and Black Eye Susan's balancing, that will allow the healing to not be overwhelming. And Iris's transmutation will take what I want to remove and turn it into energy to fuel that healing. With spells like this, you want to balance the removal with positivity, and an ally or two that helps with integration or transmutation will help with that. You also may want to consider adding gentler energies focused on healing with love and compassion to make this the best experience for you as the spell does its work. I chose to do this spell on a Saturday, which is associated with Saturn and great for breaking habits, but you could also do it on a new moon or a waxing moon, or another day of the week or planetary hour that's related to the energy you're calling in. So I started this spell using one of my banishing smoke bundles because when I'm doing healing work, I want to make sure that all the negative energy is gone, and in my experience, a stronger banishing versus a cleansing is the best option. Then I grounded and centered my energy, and here you could also put up a circle or do protections or call on any spirits or deities that you work with. Then I used one of my positivity smoke bundles to bring in this joyful, playful energy and set the intention for that spell in that way. And when you're cleansing, you want to cleanse your space, yourself, and all of the tools you'll be using. And once that's done, you'll fill your jar halfway with dirt. And as you're filling it, place it in lovingly with this energy of nurturing growth. Then you'll write your petition. And you want to write in the present tense as if what you're bringing in is here now. And you want to write in the affirmative. So you wouldn't say, I don't, or I remove. You would say, I have peace. I have energy. So for my petition, I wrote, I, Alice Estrella Strange, embody the energy of receptivity and all positive opportunities flow to me with full trust in myself and the universe. And once you've written your petition, you'll roll the paper up toward you and tie it with a string. I chose to tie it with yellow and purple string for optimism and the divine feminine. And insider tip, something I like to do when I'm tying knots for a spell is I will tie 3 knots usually, and on the 3rd knot, I breathe through that hole as I'm pulling it tight to breathe life into the spell. It's a way of activating it. After that, you'll dip your petition in honey, and think of this honey as a fertilizer. Just like you would dip a plant cutting into growth hormone, you dip your petition, representing a seed, into the honey to grow it with sweet and loving energy. Then you'll place your petition in the dirt, like a seed. And here you can say an incantation if you like. I went with, I plant this seed to grow with grace and infuse my life with positive change. And once you've planted your seed, it's time to add your herbs. And as I'm adding herbs to my spell, I speak to each one by name and ask for their assistance with the specific properties I want. Because plants have a lot of properties and you want to be specific on what you're asking for. And remember, when you're putting your herbs in, keep that gentle and nurturing energy. Fill yourself with peace and positivity. It can actually even help to smile while you're doing this too. And then you can add your crystals. I chose to use a small citrine chip for positivity and abundance, and a rhodonite for heart healing. I didn't want to call on any removing crystals or banishing crystals since I have a lot of that energy in the herbs. And then you would add any objects or other things that align with your intention. I chose to add a key for opening doors to a new state of mind, and also Hecate. And once everything is added, you put your hands over the jar and say something like, I water this spell with the emotions of compassion, love, and peace, and push your energy into that spell through the hands. And then you seal the jar. And the last thing I did for this spell was I placed a candle on top of the jar and I burned it all the way down to charge it up. I chose to use a pink candle, but use whatever feels right for you. You can also carve your candle if you like. I chose to carve the word renewal. And also, please be careful with fire. If you can't put a candle on top of your jar safely, you can always place it next to the jar. And then your spell is done. And I like to check in on my spells every once in a while. And if it seems like it could use a boost, I will burn another candle for it. And you can do this intuitively through meditation or even using tarot. And that's my spell for growing a new state of mind. I'd love to hear your experiences with this spell if you try it out, and comment any questions that you have below too. And if you're ready to take the next step and learn how to use herbs to elevate your magic, you can join the Modern Mystic Academy for the month of January, where we will be diving into that. And you can work with me to master your practice in a community of others. The link to join the waitlist is below. And if you'd like to learn more tips about witchcraft, subscribe to the channel and go ahead and hit the bell so you can get notified when the videos come out. Thanks for stopping by my channel. I'll see you next time. And until then, remember, stay curious, friends.